what's been blocking creativity?
Oh, moon,
What's been
where is my moon?
blocking the
I wanna
freedom?
see your light
You all
shining
have
so
done
bright,
such
oh,
a
moon.
really great job
Where is my moon?
dropping the
I wanna
suckers.
see your light shining
Dropping the
bright,
suckers.
oh, moon.
Those vampires, those energetic
Greetings,
vampires
cousin.
that are trying to get in the way and to abort your creations, okay? That's not the business that we're in right now. We are here to give birth to these creations, and I am supporting you in doing that, and you've been supporting yourself, okay? So those people who's been trying to like steal your seeds and say, yo, that ain't it, that ain't it, that ain't it, that ain't it. You've been saying, yo, well, I'm gonna drop you, I'm gonna drop you, I'm gonna drop you, I'm gonna drop you. And you did a great job. And so also, enough was enough. That was part of that enough being enough. You honored your creativity by letting some things be finished.
Okay, because
Okay, you let some relationships be finished. You let some old creative patterns be finished, and you also let some things that you put out into the world be finished, even if they felt like they weren't. Because part of what we talked about last week was being okay with things being unfinished, right? Like not fully polished in front of people and putting it out like that. And that is the first finished production, the first finished work before you get to the next level, because we always gonna have another next level, and we're always going to be increasing our value. So it's letting it being okay with not being where it's at and saying I'm finished for today. And you did a great job with that last week with creativity. And so as we take that, it doesn't mean you're done with being creative or facing and handling the truths regarding our topic. But that means we're going to wrap it up into what we're doing this week with confidence. Okay. So what you can look forward to in this week with confidence is that confidence is not always loud. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's so big, it's so bold, it's so bright that people just cannot ignore you, right? And that's okay too. It's also quiet. So just because you know something or you know what's coming up doesn't mean you need to broadcast it, because not everybody needs to know everything. Not everybody needs to know everything. And that's real talk. Okay? We are here. And so this week confidence shows up as calm clarity, not volume or performance. Especially when you're embarking upon something new. We're still kind of in some sort of hibernation mode. So when you have
yo, well, I'm gonna drop you,
something new and you're building your confidence muscle around that thing.
So also, enough
you don't
was
need
enough.
to be telling it to everybody, especially someone who might try to get you to abort that faith. Okay? Somebody who might try to get you to not trust what God's telling you to do. Okay? And then number 2 is self-trust over approval when it comes to confidence. My confidence is something you could say. My confidence grows when I act on what I already know without waiting for permission. This is trusting the authority that God is fully polished. Okay? God told you what to do. God's told you the first finished production, the first finished work before you get to the next level. Even who to do it with. And sometimes that's by yourself. And you just got to trust what you know. And that's what we're going into this week. We're going to dig into some truths that might be preventing you from trusting what you know, so that you can walk boldly and confidently with or facing the righteousness of God and all the things that we're creating and doing. But that means we're going to wrap it and seeing into what we're doing this week. And the third thing is embodying authority. You're going to strengthen your confidence by aligning your words, actions, and boundaries. Okay? That's what you can look forward to in this week. It's so big. It's really increasing your boundaries, because sometimes the reason why we don't have that godly confidence is because we haven't created enough boundaries to protect. So just because you know something or you know what's coming up, and so this week it's going to be protecting your frequency, and knowing that it's your right to do so. Okay, when it's time to give birth to these new creations, you have to have certain people around that's going to support it. Not everybody can be in the birthing room with you, right? when it's time to give birth to your baby, and you don't have, I mean, some people might, right? But usually you don't have 150 people in your living room with you, with your birthing pool, right? And your midwife. You have a few discreet people in there that's going to help support you, because you don't want all those distractions. Like the mama's got to meditate, even the papa. You've got to, baba and mama, you got to meditate. You got to be focused on making sure this baby comes out healthy, whole, that even the pain that you have to drive through, that you can stay focused. And so that's what we're really going to be digging into this week, is having the confidence to do what you need to do to see your creations
God told
through.
you what to do. God's told
Okay,
you.
so that is your moon weekly forecast preview and
sometimes that's
review of what's to
you just
come.
gotta trust what you know.
Until
And
next
that's what
time.
we're going into this week. We're gonna dig into some truths that might be preventing you from trusting
Know
what you
that
know,
creation
so you can walk boldly and
is
confidently
a process. You're going to hear me say it over and over and over.
all the things that we're
And
creating and doing.
you are a work of
and
art.
seeing. Okay.
You are a
And
creation
the third thing
walking.
is
Okay?
embody
So you
authority.
have to honor
You're gonna
the process that you are. Okay? You have to honor your own process.
Okay.
And
That's
sometimes
what
that
you
means
can
the
look
process
forward
means
to
you might
in
trip
this
and fall a
week.
little bit.
And
And that's
really
perfect.
increasing your boundaries,
Because if
sometimes
you trip and fall,
the reason why
then
we
you
don't
know
have
how not to do
that
it again.
godly
And if you do it
confidence
again,
is
hopefully
because
it's
we
not the
haven't
same
created
way,
enough
right?
boundaries to protect
Okay?
the frequency.
If you do it again,
Okay.
and
so
it's
this
probably
week,
tripping
it's
in
gonna
a
be
different
protecting
way,
your
but then
frequency.
eventually you're going to know all
And
the traps,
knowing
you're going to
that
know all the
it's your
tricks, you're
right
going to
to
know
do
all the
so.
obstacles,
Okay.
and you
When
might even
it's
just learn
time
how to
to give
fly,
birth
okay?
to these new
And so that's
creations,
what this confidence
you have
is that
to
we're
have
walking
certain
into this
people
week.
around that's
Congratulations
going to
on all the
support
truths
it.
that you
Not
handled last
everybody
week,
can be in the
okay?
birthing room with
And
you, right?
congratulations for the
When
ones that
it's
you're
time
going
to
to
give
this week too.
give birth to your baby.
All right, and you don't have, I mean, some people might, right?
Be graceful
But
with
usually
yourself.
you don't have
Okay.
150 people.
And be graceful when
the
you're
ones
living
around
with
you who really want to
with your
support
birthing
you,
pool,
and they're
right?
just learning how to
and
do
your
it
midwife.
properly.
You have a few
Alright.
discreet people
Queen Mama Moon,
in
peace
there that's
out.
going to help support you, because you don't want all those distractions. Like the mama's got to meditate, even the papa. You've got to, baba and mama, you got to meditate. You got to be focused on making sure this baby comes out healthy, whole, that even the pain that you have to thrive through, that you can stay focused. And so that's what we're really going to be digging into this week, is having the confidence to do what you need to do to see your creations through. Okay, so that is your moon weekly forecast preview and review of what's to come. Until next time, know that creation is a process. You're going to hear me say it over and over and over. And you are a work of art. You are a creation walking, okay? So you have to honor the process that you are, okay? You have to honor your own process. And sometimes that means the process means you might trip and fall a little bit. And that's perfect. Because if you trip and fall, then you know how not to do it again. And if you do it again, hopefully it's not the same way, right? Okay? If you do it again, it's probably tripping in a different way, but then eventually you're going to know all the traps, you're going to know all the creeks, you're going to know all the obstacles, and you might even just learn how to fly, okay? And so that's what this confidence is that we're walking into this week. Congratulations on all the truths that you handled last week, okay? And congratulations for the ones that you're going to handle this week too. All right. Be graceful with yourself, okay? And be graceful with the ones around you who really want to support you, and they're just learning how to do it properly. All right. Queen Mama Moon, peace, y'all.